One of the most critically endangered animals in the world is the rhino. Many of us grew up knowing rhinos as the poster child of poaching. Unfortunately, that is still true today. Other than humans, rhinos have no predators in the wild. There are 5 rhino species: the white rhino, the black rhino, the Indian rhino, the Javan rhino, and the Sumatran rhino. All 5 species face threats of poaching throughout Asia and Africa. The Javan rhino, found in Indonesia, is the most threatened of the 5 species. Once being a vibrant animal found throughout Southeast Asia, they are now only found in the Ujung Kulon National Park, where there are an estimated 60 living. The white rhino, which is actually gray in color, has 2 subspecies, the northern and the southern. The northern white rhino is extinct in the wild. Their cousin, the black rhino, has faced tremendous population loss within the past few decades. Having once numbered in the 70,000s in the early 1900s, by the 1960s, poaching had dwindled their numbers to less than 3,000. As of 2020, there are 5,100 black rhinos in the wild. Poaching is still a very prevalent threat. Although the current rhino poaching crisis began around the early 2000s, they have actually been hunted for centuries. Although sometimes poached for other body parts, rhinos are mostly killed for their horn. In some traditional medicine practices, their horns are incorrectly believed to have health benefits and cure ailments such as cancer. Their horns have no medicinal properties though. Today, these beliefs still exist, but in many more cases, rhino horns are seen as symbols of wealth. Rhinos are being killed for ego. Poaching has become increasingly sophisticated. Gangs have sprung up around the horn trade, employing hunters, middlemen, and sellers. In some parts of southern Africa, as a way to prevent poaching, the horns of rhinos are removed by conservation groups. Sadly, it is one of the only protective measures they can make in certain situations. Rangers spend 24-hour shifts watching the rhinos day and night, and they are faced with dangers from poachers, the wild, and the elements. According to the Save the Rhino Foundation, 1,000 of these brave rangers have lost their lives in the past decade while protecting these animals. Many lack the necessary equipment and gear they need to protect themselves and their rhinos, and yet they persevere. Rhinos were once a prevalent part of Uganda's landscape. In the 1970s and 80s, Uganda was faced with many humanitarian and environmental crises. Sadly, by 1983, the last of Uganda's wild rhinos had been killed either from human-wildlife conflict or poaching. But Uganda was not to give up hope on the rhinos. In 1998, the Ugandan Wildlife Authority and a group of NGOs began to work on the reintroduction of rhinos into Uganda. They created the ZIWA Rhino Sanctuary. Around 80 rangers are dedicated to being the security for the handful of rhinos and other protected mammals that live within the sanctuary. This brave team commits to 24-hour watches on the rhinos. They have been able to increase their numbers from 8 in 2006 to 30 rhinos today. The ZIWA Sanctuary is committed to the reintroduction of rhinos into Uganda. They are at the forefront of conservation, education, and ethical tourism. Along with ZIWA, Safe Worldwide is committed to the future protection of rhinos. We are working to see their numbers return to what they once were. We are working to create a world where rhinos are not hunted by humans, a world where people protect the species that we share our home with. You can help us create this future. You can be part of the rhino success story in Uganda. By following and supporting the ZIWA Rhino Sanctuary and Safe Worldwide's anti-poaching campaign, you are part of the rhino's future. You can learn more at safeworldwide.org. Please share this video with your loved ones and let them know there is hope for the rhino.